Cool. So this call is being recorded for quality and training purposes. If you do not wish for your voice or your image to be shared, please adjust your Zoom settings accordingly. Thanks, Sam.
Excellent. Thanks, CJ. Good morning, everybody. I do hope that February has been at a slightly slower pace than January for many of you, and that you've managed to catch up, catch your breath, catch up from work. Today we have two fantastic guest speakers. Jonathan Pitts from WPA, who's going to talk about the benefits of private medical insurance for small businesses, and Darren Glanville, who many of you will know from Fathom. He's given us an insight and a bit of a refresh on how the Fathom software can enhance your strategic offering and efficiency. So we'll say more about Jonathan, Darren, and their sessions shortly. In terms of an IAB news update, I have an IAB event announcement, which is very exciting. I'm just going to let some more people in. Sorry, doing two things at once. So at the last coffee morning, I said that we were pausing the awards, but we were looking at another event. So I'm very pleased to announce that this event will be Pre-Accountex on the 13th of May. It's likely to be 2 till 5 in the Canary Wharf area, and more details will follow on that. We're just in the final stages of firming up all the last minute arrangements. But we're planning an intimate but interactive session. So there'll be approximately 50 places on a first come first serve basis. And the cost will be, there will be a cost, it'll be £50 a head, but it's a chance to network, learn, as I say, it's an interactive session and really kickstart your Accountex experience, to get the most out of people that you can meet and the sessions that you can attend. So a little bit about it, and obviously more details will follow, but there'll be a keynote session where we'll delve into the world of proper financial management with a finance expert of 20 plus years. So he'll be guiding you through the nuances of profit and loss, balance sheets, cash flow, and KPIs, but beyond the basics. And then alongside them, Sarah will be providing practical insights from her own business journey and demonstrating how to apply this advice to your own practice using the IAB's practice scalability framework. So hopefully a really informative session with practical takeouts. Alongside this, after the keynote, there'll be smaller group Q&As and break-off groups, so you can gain some really good insight and inspiration to help your business planning, and obviously take that forward to the exhibition and structure, your 2 days ahead. We will, of course, provide canapes and refreshments, and we're going to be sending out an email with all the details on, which will also have the ability to purchase your ticket. So please look out for that very soon. Before I hand over to Sujay for the technical update, I do feel a little bit of sad news, and that this will be Sujay's last coffee morning, as he's moving on to pastures new at the end of this month. So we're sad to see him go, but I'm sure you wish him all the best of luck as we do. So Sujay, over to you.
Thank you so much. And yeah, hopefully I'll still join these when I can. But yeah, it's been great. And I can't believe it's been almost 2 years. It's wild how quick the time has gone. So just from me, before I pass back over to Sam, I'm just going to share a quick update on HMRC letters and digital comms. Sam, I've just requested to share. Thank you so much. Cool. So I joined a forum with HMRC about 2 weeks ago, and they were meant to start sending comms in January, which obviously has not happened. But they have put this together, and they did say we can share this. They said it don't share it with too many people, but I mean, this is quite an intimate group. So it's just when the new letters are going to go out. So they're definitely going to start sending information at the end of Feb, and we've been like guaranteed that they're going to start sending in agent updates. So to notify agents that the clients will receive their MTD letters. The agent pre-mandation letter will go to about 50% of its agents and its customers. So you'll be notified of those between the beginning and the middle of March. And then towards the end of March, there'll be an agent email that goes out as well. So please do look out for all of this information. And then for your customers, they're going to start sending letters mainly from April up to about June for the ones that have been selected. So yeah, tell your clients to make sure they look out for those as well. So we have been promising guarantee that this will be done. Now, obviously, maybe in HMRC, take it with a pinch of salt, but they have said that it is going to be done and they're going to start sending notifications out because I know no one's received anything yet. So that's just a quick update from me. I'm going to stop sharing and pass back over to Sam. Thanks, Sam. Sam, you're on mute.
Okay. Is that better? Yes, you can hear me. Right, thanks, CJ. Thank you. A bit about our speakers. So our first speaker is Jonathan Pitt from WPA. Now he'll be explaining the growing importance of private medical insurance, particularly with NHS waiting times in the news all the time. Pressures of business are constantly increasing. So this was a request that came out of the ambassador group. So hopefully this topic will resonate with a lot of you. And our second speaker, as I mentioned earlier, is Darren from Fathom. So Darren will be giving us an overview of Fathom software and its benefits, and particularly aspects of it that can provide business, benefits to your business and your clients. So Jonathan and Darren, just so you know, I'll give you a bit of a 15-minute warning from a time perspective. So not interrupting rudely while you're speaking, but just so to keep you on track from a time perspective. It's over to you, Jonathan.
Morning all, thank you. I'm just going to try and work out the share quickly, 1 second. So.
It should be okay if I've given you.
Yeah, it won't be anything you've done, it'll be something I do wrong. So. Okay,
there we go, looks like you've got it. Well done.
Yeah, okay, right. Now I've got to work out how to read it myself, 1 second. Right.
I feel like I need some mission control space kind of gadget to do all these things happening.
Okay, right, I think I'm there, 1 second. So, cool. Right, thank you so much, obviously, Sarah, Samantha and Sujay.
Oh. Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, thank you so much for obviously the opportunity to speak today. Yeah, we always love doing these things. I've worked with Sarah for a number of years, actually, so it's really nice to get back in touch. So, yeah, who we are. So, my name's John. I also work with a guy called Dan and a guy called Lewis. And we're a team who run a franchise for the health insurer WPA. WPA, one of the UK's oldest health insurers. We run our own business under their umbrella. So basically, we can give more intimate advice and service at point of sale and moving forward. So we sort of guide you through the options and stuff a lot more than simply going online. So that's who we are. And what we do, so we do private health insurance, so like a form of protection, but then also do staff healthcare benefits as well. So hopefully there'll be something for everybody there today. And then who we sort of can work with, well, it really ranges all the way from individuals, self-employed, families and businesses of all sizes. So we've got plans that can help sort of anybody at any part of their business journey. So hopefully be relevant to all. So I'm going to start by giving some background on health insurance, like why it could be worth it for a business in terms of considering. And then it can give you some sort of examples as to why it can be important for sort of startups where one person could be 100% of that workforce, and also larger businesses where they're looking to sort of reward, retain and recruit staff as well. So that's sort of giving you some idea as to where we're sort of going to go with it today. So to start with, I'll give you some background. Oh, come back once. I'll give you some background on this panel. Okay, right. Give you some background on the NHS as a good starting point. So obviously there's some key points on the screen that you feel free to have a look at, but then also I'm going to talk through some as well. So, okay. So there's been a long-held ideal that good healthcare should be available to all, regardless of wealth, on the NHS. So the NHS investment has risen yearly from £500 million back when it first started to nearly 192 billion in 2025 estimated. So they've been investing more every single year, but the resources at the same time have been stretched more than ever due to growing population, increased life expectancy, care sector issues, and then also COVID obviously had an impact as well. which are, of course, the most urgent. So then what happens is non-urgent, but in terms of nationally, often end up on a waiting list. So at the moment, there's 7.5 million people on a waiting list as of December. And that's for non-urgent things like hips, knee replacements, cataracts, things that can really affect day-to-day life, but may seem non-urgent in the national scale of things. So it's also worth considering as well how many people aren't on that stage yet. They're not actually waiting to be treated. They may be waiting to be diagnosed. So that's another thing to sort of bear in mind. It really isn't just those people waiting. There's more to it as well. So next thing, where health insurance can help. So diagnosis and treatments, sort of seeing specialists, and then if you ever needed treatment, actually having that surgery or treatment as well. Can give you the freedom to choose where you're treated. So you might just be a local hospital, giving customers the option to follow recommendations. So say somebody said, this is who I saw. You may want to see them just because of the recommendation, or you can even pick based on where can you be seen first? Where's the shortest wait? So it operates in conjunction with the NHS, as I mentioned a minute ago. It doesn't replace it for accident, emergency, or anything like that, but it would give you access to quick treatment for things that they're particularly slow on or there's waiting lists for. Benefits of going private as well is obviously privacy and cleanliness. You often get your own private room, and you get to schedule your treatment around your work life in terms of when it suits you, rather than just when you're top of the list. And then it also has cover for potentially life-saving drugs that the NHS can't afford. So that's kind of one of the benefits as well. On to the next part. I've got like sort of an example for you. So I'm going to go through like the football analogy. So if a star player gets injured in professional sports, they're given the best medical treatment immediately for a few reasons. Firstly, the player is recognised as a key part of the manager's plans in achieving winning results that leads to fan experience, success, and revenue. And then secondly, by looking after that player and creating a supportive culture, they may see an increase performances from that player and loyalty. Also, a positive reputation could lead to them being able to recruit further star players in the future. This is also true for businesses, where your staff are the most important asset. If they were ill, how quickly can you get them back, and what effect would their time away from the business cause? Supporting them with health insurance could allow you to better plan treatment and absences as a business, but also then helping retention and recruitment, whereby you're helping look after that team member in their time of need, which means they may stay with you longer. But also from the outside, if you were to advertise any jobs, you could be using health insurance as an employee benefit worth advertising as well. So that's some sort of food for thought for you on that one. Benefits of using WPA. So as you can imagine, lots of health insurers can do the same thing. So why may you use us? So WPA, not for profit at heart. So that's why you maybe haven't heard of us. And then,
oh dear, gone blank screen.
I think he's frozen.
John, I think he's frozen. John, are you there?
Sadly, I think unfortunately his battery's cut out and we've lost him.
Oh no! Shall we pass over to Darren?
Could we pass over to you, please?
Yes, no problem. No problem at all.
Sam, you're going to have to just stop John sharing his screen. 3 dots at the top.
Yeah, we've done that. Although I don't think it's...
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, it's worked. Excellent.
Let me know when you can see my screen.
Yeah, we can see that, Darren.
Awesome. And this you should be looking at a PowerPoint deck. Is that correct? Awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for letting us join your coffee morning. It's great to be back with the IAB and also seeing some familiar faces as well. I don't want to take up a huge amount of time, but I really just really wanted to share with you, how powerful Fathom's being for clients of accountants and bookkeepers. And for anyone who's ever heard me speak, I think it's so apparent to us at Fathom the important role that bookkeepers play in the success and growth of small businesses, and just how embedded and vital you are to the success of those businesses going forward. So in terms of who we are today, obviously many of you have met me previously and maybe have heard me speak, but also joining me today is Dan, who's joined us and is now our business development specialist for the accounting and bookkeeper channel. So Dan's been with us a few months now. He's fully onboarded with Fathom as a product, so he will be your most likely day-to-day point of contact. You'll still see me at events like Accountex and others, so please do come and say hello to us. But Dan's going to be your go-to guy going forward. For those of you that haven't come across Fathom before, we've been around since 2012. Our headquarters is in Brisbane, Australia, slightly warmer weather than what we're experiencing here in the UK right now. But we also have offices in the UK, the US, and the Philippines as well. We were acquired in 2022 by the Access Group. It happens to be the largest independent software company in the UK. So that now employs 6,000 people, including the 100 or so that work for Fathom. And that gives us a lot more beef in terms of product development and helping you to scale this much further. People often ask us how many people use Fathom on a monthly basis. Well, it's more than 90,000 businesses use Fathom on a monthly basis, and that's across sort of 80 countries. We're the top-rated app for reporting and forecasting in both the QBO and Xero stores. We're partnering with those accountants who really want to do more for their clients. So, when we look about why you join the profession, it's because you passionately care. It's because it's more than just doing double entry bookkeeping. I'm not dismissing that or minimizing that, but there's so much more that you want to be able to provide. And for us, it's about giving you a platform that you can then deliver those services from. And I think this is passionate. Accountants and bookkeepers are at the heart storytellers. This underpins everything that we do. We want to bring those numbers to life. We want to, weave a story that's real time for the clients that we're working with to enable them to make better informed decisions and have longevity within those businesses. For us at Fathom, it's about providing, and I think it boils down to this, it's all about providing clarity and confidence to every successful business owner. Every business owner we think deserves this. It may not be currently part of your service portfolio, but we know from recent surveys like the Intuit QuickBooks SMB survey report, accounting for the SMB economy that came out towards the end of last year, within micro businesses, only about 12% of those are receiving regular advice on budgets and forecasting. So that says to me there's a huge opportunity for you to grow your fees around that. And using things like the practice scalability framework that was mentioned earlier, these are ways in which you can grow your fee base. And that's important for us. So Fathom is really about helping you have those more engaged conversations, have more engaged clients, and deliver more services. For us, it doesn't matter what your source data is, whether that's Xero, QuickBooks, Sage, Excel, others. There's a way for you to bring that information into Fathom, and we'll see that shortly. What I'll also do with you shortly as well is in the chat, I will share with you examples of the types of reports that Fathom can produce. These are the reports that you can put in front of your clients, you can brand, so it has that hyper-personalization. Fundamentally, I'll be showing you a few things here in a moment, but it's about financial analysis. Without having to do a report at the end of every month, we can dive in, we can give our business owners snapshot views into things like their KPIs. And again, just coming back to what Sam was saying, when you've got someone who's worked in the industry for 20 plus years talking about key performance indicators, these are the things that are on your client's mind every single month. And it's the stuff that's keeping them awake at night. We've got management reports. So again, whether you're doing monthly, quarterly management reports, you can template those so that the production of that can actually be automated for you. You can actually set schedules for the information to be automatically pulled through from your source data and then roll that out into your report and schedule that. Obviously, cash flow forecasting is important, and I believe every business should have a cash flow, not necessarily just once a year or when the bank needs, you're going to the bank for an overdraft, but this is a way that we can start having a conversation about what's the business planning, how many people are they looking to hire, what additional assets are they looking to purchase, or what loans or capital are they looking to introduce to the business at the most relevant time. And the way that Fathom has done this is try to rethink it. If any of you haven't seen our forecasting tool, I'm referring to our micro forecast, where you can visually lay out the decisions that the business needs to make, that the owners can see the impact of those decisions before they make that. So I'll dive into that. Obviously, we've got consolidations as well, so there's a lot of features in there, but let's just take a look at that and dive in. So the first thing I'm going to show you is, what does the output look like? Let's start with the end in mind. What are we actually putting in front of clients? And this can be something as simple as a branded report. It's not just a white page with a name on it. It can be hyper-personalized to your clients. From beyond that, we can then start to grab in little things that make a difference. Agendas. What are we talking about in this meeting? What are the action points we want to come away with? When we're doing things like the summary, we can actually embed placeholders so that when your source data is getting updated, rather than going in every month typing the revenue this month is X versus the revenue last month is Y, you just simply put a placeholder in there. As you roll forward, that's automatically going to get updated. So again, you're just getting into a position of saving yourself time in putting these reports together. The one thing, again, that underpins what Fathom does is clarity and confidence. How can we present the really high-level numbers in an engaging way? How do we help you interpret those numbers, tell a story? You can see here we can present high-level numbers. We can still produce tables of information in the traditional P&L format. Of course we can. But what we're doing here is determining the simplistic way of getting that information in front of our clients so that they understand it and we can move that forward. The big thing now is it's not just about the finance numbers. It's also about that other data. We're surrounded by data in other systems, whether that's our website traffic, whether it's our marketing systems. We can actually bring in other non-financial data that enables them to measure how their business is performing over that period. Things like new clients, how much are they spending on ads on LinkedIn? What's the conversion rate? Again, think operational, not just at board level. This is really where we can start to add a lot of value into what that client is doing. When it comes to presenting information, we can present it in a number of ways: line graphs, bar charts, donuts, pie charts. We've got more than 100 charts that you can choose to present that information, and again, hyper-personalized to your clients. Any changes you make are automatically saved back, so again, when you roll it forward, it's all going to be there. When I was in practice and I was working with owner-managed businesses, they would always ask me what's their break-even point, and we can show them that within the report. And that just starts to get them, giving them self-assurance about, are they doing all this effort for no money? We would have people, unsure of what to pay themselves, all of that. But even now down to presenting KPI information can all be customized within those reports. And there's a really nice way of presenting movements in cash to the client as well, so they can see what their cash usage is. When is cash coming in? When's it going out? We can start to look at things like cash burn and runway, all those positive ideas that really drive them forward and give them confidence. And I keep saying confidence, but this is ultimately what we want to provide them. And the more we can do that, the more likely they are to see the value in what we're providing and ultimately pay the fee for it. I want to get to forecasting because this, again, is one of the most powerful features within Fathom, and that's doing your traditional three-way forecasts, but then presenting that information that we can say, hey, here are several scenarios that you could have. You could have a best-case scenario, a worst-case scenario, and maybe a status quo. And then underneath that, we've got the ability to hook in those decisions that the business is making or has made that we can follow up on in a visual format. How does this look when we've got our products together? Well, let's dive in. So it's easy for you to add your companies to Fathom. And I'll talk about the offer that we have for IAB members towards the end, but we can simply click on each of these, to say where the data is coming from. We can then go into our settings. We can clarify that. We can import budgets. The data can automatically be updated overnight, so we're working with the latest data. And here we can import the non-financial information. We can set KPIs very quickly. So if we want to track things like industry-specific KPIs, or maybe we want to do a formula KPI that says divide revenue by the number of employees to give me revenue per employee, that's there as well. We can set targets against those KPIs. So again, it's great having a KPI, but we want the measurement against it. And we can challenge the client as to why they're measuring that KPI. Is it giving them the information that's useful, relevant, and is it time bound? And then we can work with that. Let's look at forecasting. So I'm just going to dive in here and I'm going to reset my forecast as if this was the first time that I've done this. I was just tinkering with this before we came on air. So let's say it's the first time we're going to do a forecast for our client. We get this button that says, let's get started. Now, we could do this line by line if we wanted to. If we brought the budget in from Xero or QuickBooks, we could certainly link it to the budget to give us the baseline. But I'm just going to use the baseline here with a quick start. And if I click that in about 4 seconds, I'm going to have a baseline forecast ready for me. Hyper quick. It's using super smarts behind the scenes. It's using a smart prediction that's using a line of best fit, using linear regression over the last 2 years, and it can, if you so wish, include seasonality. Now, the current month is always highlighted here, but you can see I can edit any of these cells directly if I want to by just over typing that, but I've got rules and timing profiles over here. So let's just dive into rules. I'm going to show this and say that it's picking up the last 24 months of data. You can import more data into Fathom if you want. You can go back up to 8 years, but it's going to use the last 2 years with seasonality and use that smart prediction. However, I don't need to do that. I could use a link to a previous period, or I could put a constant or growing rule in there. But let's stay for now with the smart prediction. I'm going to apply those changes. And I'm going to go back to when my cash is collected. Now, we're not looking at individual invoice line items here. I'm just going to say it's likely that I'm going to get 10% of that in the same month. Let's say 80% of that in month 1, and we'll put the balance of 10% in month 2, adding up to 100%. Apply those changes, and there is my forecast adjusted accordingly. I can also add in what we call quick metrics. So we have 5 of these that I can keep a close eye on. So, for example, I could say gross profit margin needs to be 50%. So tell me where that is stressed and where it's not being met. Any changes I make here are visually represented down here in terms of numbers or as a graph. And as we change these numbers up here, so again, if I go in here and say it's actually 60,000, we can see those numbers change and the graph change as well. But what about micro forecasts? All of your clients are having decisions around maybe new hires. So let's create that. Let's create a category. Let's call it HR or hiring. I'm going to add that in, and I'm going to add a new person here. And it's now going to take me through a wizard where I can say they're a permanent member of the team. We're going to pay them £30,000 a year, and I'm going to go to salaries and wages. I've now created a mini forecast that's layered on top of my baseline because we don't know if this is going to go ahead yet or not, and I don't want it impacting my main forecast. If I go back to my main grid here, I can see my main forecast, but if I scroll down, I can see where that micro forecast is impacting, and I can see it there listed. We know that boards change their mind. Tell me I'm wrong if they don't. But what I can do here is I can come in here and turn that off and remove it. You know that frustration is because we've now removed it. You've done all that work. They come back to you the following month or two and say, actually, we're rethinking that and we want to bring it all back in. I can just turn it back on. So I haven't lost that work. But the power of this is when I'm sitting in the board meeting and we can say, are we going to hire this person and what's the impact on cash? Now, if this was a brand new coffee roastery, new premises, new equipment, there could be several of these together. I can simply slide that back to defer that decision, and they can see the impact of that before they make it. Is it going to have a positive or negative impact on cash? And if necessary, I can then create scenarios off that, and let's call that our best case. And I can apply the micro forecast, but I can also play around with other factors. So what would happen is if we got a 20% increase in revenue, so I've now created another scenario, and if I go back to my main grid, I can have my scenario here, or I can go back to the original forecast that I had. The power of that then comes if I want to bring that into my monthly performance report, because it's driven from a template. And with my templates, if any of you have used Canva, this will really resonate with you for some reason, because you start with your template and then you can add in your text blocks or your chart blocks or your tables. And then from that, you can choose what you want to bring in. And there you do. You just drop it into the template, type in the details that you want. You can edit that at any time using the pencil icon. You can add your commentary. And as I said before, you can even add those little placeholders. So if I say revenue this month actuals versus at revenue last month actuals, you have your adjustments. And that's now put my placeholders there.
Just to let you know, Darren, sorry, you've been 15 minutes, you've got another 5, just so you know.
That's fine, I'll wrap up now. There's so much more we can do with the report. Again, this is the output. It's so super fast that you've got. And as members of the IAB, you actually get 20% off that as part of your member benefits. There's a 14-day free trial. You can put as many clients on that as you wish during your trial. Dan will be responsible for helping you and getting you onboarded. And hopefully we can then start sharing that with you as well. But I'll just go back to my screen here, just go back through. So we've gone through that. We've shown you how to get really high quality deep reports, really comprehensive budgeting and forecasting, consolidations in minutes, not days. It literally is once you've added them, you'll see the power of how that data flows through. You're giving your clients the ability to see their financials like never before. And there is an offer. If you scan that QR code, it will take you to the landing page where you can start a trial, and any discount that you want after that will automatically be applied. Thank you very much for your time. I'll now hand back to Sam and John. Hopefully his laptop's back in and plugged in now, but any questions, just reach out.
Thank you so much, Darren. Very insightful as usual. There is a couple of questions. Just lots of people asking about the free trial, which is great. I have put it in the chat, but if you do go to the member benefits area of the website, you can look at that. Lucinda says, is this suitable for industry or just practice?
Both.
Yeah, thought so. Jennifer's providing some great examples there. Jennifer Barker, thank you very much.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Someone's asked, how does it compare with Power BI?
Oh, that's a really good question. Power BI is in the name. It's a very powerful tool. You're connecting lots of data sets together. You're building those connections. Fathom has pre-built API connections to the products. If you're looking for an out-of-box solution, Fathom is perfect. If you're looking for something that's highly customizable because the client needs other sources of data, Power BI is a great tool for that. But you do have to make those connections. You're responsible for maintaining that. This is more of an out-of-box solution for you.
Okay, hope that answers that question. Another one from Shurish. Can this be used to create group MIS for a company who has, say, 6 businesses and wants to see combined information?
Yes. If you look in the chat now, I've actually dropped in the example management report I shared with you for the monthly individual company, and I've also dropped in a consolidated report as well.
Someone's asked about, are there training resources at Fathom, which there are, aren't there? Many.
There are, yes, lots.
And there's some really good videos as well. As I say, if you enter via the IAB websites, where you do get access to all those, and there is also support as well when you join, isn't there, Darren?
There is. One of the things I would say, Sujay, you might want to change this before you head off onto pastures new, and good luck with that, by the way. The link on the member benefit page takes you to our main website. It doesn't take you to the IAB landing page.
It does if you're logged in. You have to be logged in.
Right, okay,
fine.
Yeah, you have to be logged in as a member, then it takes you to your landing page for
no, that's fine. I've put the link in there. I just didn't want anyone to sign and not get the automatic 20% discount applied if that was the case.
No, it's fine. Yeah, all good.
No, we have to do that because when people just look on the website in general, we don't want them to get the discount without being a member, basically. So it's why we always stress to everyone, please do log in as a member. Lots of people being really impressed with the demonstration and saying thank you.
You're welcome.
And I think probably that's it now. Someone talking about the length of the trial of 14 days, but I'm sure, if you do speak to Fathom and,
if you sweet talk Dan, I'm sure he'll be able to extend it slightly for you.
Yeah. Excellent. Thank you. John, are you back with us? There you are. I can see you.
I am. So sorry. I've got no idea. I haven't changed anything, and it's working again now. So give me one sec.
Let's say you can pick up where you left off. We do have some. I think you had about 10 minutes.
I was
left.
basically done anyway, but let's have a quick look. So hopefully this will work now. So okay, right. So yeah, just a quick recap. I guess what we're offering is private medical insurance, which gives you peace of mind that you can access private medical treatment quickly should you need it. And an example could be that I have a concern. There's a 24-hour GP included in every scheme. You could then talk to that 24-hour a day GP service, get a medical referral. You can then go on a mobile app to set up a claim, get that authorized, and then you can follow through to a booking system to find a consultant to see, either locally or based on time, looking for the person you can see soonest. It can be really as easy as that. So the idea being is what it actually gives you is control. So as a business, that's really important, gives you control to sort of take control of a health condition straight away, but then also control when you're being treated, when you're going out for appointments, etc. So I know we've worked with loads of people in the past, even like mechanics, they say, look, maybe it was a bit quieter over Christmas. I needed an operation that's going to put me out of work. So I did it early December, so I could be back mid-January. So you can really schedule when you're having that treatment if you need it around your business as well. So that's where we were. And then why you should choose WPA, I guess, or consider WPA is they're not for profit, which is really important, but also maybe why you hadn't heard of us before. We grow mainly through recommendation. So from people meeting us out and about in networking groups, etc., or being recommended our services, especially as medical consultants recommend WPA above any other in a consultant survey. But then also we work closely with lots of smaller businesses. That is our niche. We're PMI specialists, so WPA only do health insurance. They're not going to try and cross-sell you on anything else. It's going to be just about the health insurance. Customers are at the forefront of everything we do. They literally only exist for their customers as a not-for-profit. They're there to pay your claims, basically. The heritage is over 120 years. They're based in Taunton, so anybody that you were to speak to other than me on the phone for claims, etc., is all going to be in one head office in Taunton. So that's always good to know. And then they're also, it's not just, don't just take my word for it. They're the only Which recommended health insurer. So Which do lots of consumer surveys. Their support cannot be bought. So in terms of they review the market, they contact customers, and of all the customers they've contacted, WPA are the only provider they feel happy recommending, and that is the last 2 years in a row. So that's really good for us. And then Trustpilot is based on our customers actually reviewing the service they had from WPA, and WPA coming out as 5-star on there as well. So that was the sort of the last sort of things from me. I appreciate I couldn't go into too much detail because there's not one size fits all when it comes to health insurance. We can help build products and policies to suit the needs of the individual. It might be they want really comprehensive. They might just want worst case scenario cover. They might want something just to help get the ball rolling initially rather than fully comprehensive. So what it is really bespoke. So the idea being is what we're offering is the chance to sit down, talk through the benefits, work out what it is you're looking for, and then convert that into quotes and support moving forward. So if anyone was interested, I'll follow up with a flyer to Sam today, and you can pass it around with the contact details on. But more than happy to sit down and talk to anybody regarding any concerns. But also, I appreciate there's more to it, because even if you see a package that you like online or something like that, you may want to discuss how it works regarding pre-existing conditions, etc. But we can do that all in a phone call or a Teams meeting directly as well. And that's the benefit of our service rather than going online. We're not leaving anything to chance in terms of understanding. We can talk it through with you. So that's all I had. So thank you so much for the opportunity. Did you have any questions at all, Sam?
Yeah, there is some. Thank you for that, John. I think I think the main key takeout point, is you'll probably agree, is that having this extra layer of this insurance, this protection from a small business perspective, gives you the control, doesn't it, in terms of managing the time should you need it out of your business, for yourselves and also for your client. Elaine, who apparently is just down the road in Ilminster, said, do you need a minimum amount of staff to access this?
So it's a good question. So we have policies that can be paid for via your business if you're looking to do that for as little as just one person. So we've got solutions for all sizes, even if you're just self-employed, or if you're self-employed looking to cover yourself and family, or if you're a business with 2 employees or more, we can build policies for you as well.
Excellent. So it's kind of a really bespoke service, and it's great to have that one-on-one discussion as well, to make sure you're getting the right cover and you're not overpaying for things that you don't need as such.
Especially now, because there's a lot of in the last couple of years, prices in certain areas have gone a lot higher, and it might be that by sitting down and speaking to somebody, you can sort of understand what it is you're looking for and where you can cut down on certain parts to save money and match a budget as well. Yeah,
no, that's great. Thanks for that. As I say, this is something that was requested out of the ambassador groups. And as John has said, insurance is not a one size fits all. So it's obviously Darren's demonstration was great, because it can be quite specific and really highlight the benefits there and then in front of us today. Whereas obviously with health insurance, that's a little bit more difficult. So I'm sure John put his details, we've got them on the screen now. But if you do want to have a conversation, do reach out to us and we can connect you, because I think that's the best kind of next course of action should you be interested.
Exactly. And we can help. We can have meetings, we can run examples, we can do it all virtually as well. So not a problem at all. And there's no such thing as a silly question when it comes to it. We often find with health insurance that things pop up and people say, oh, I wish I'd asked that. So please do share my details, and they can always contact me if they have any queries.
Yeah, Devon's just put in the chat that they are definitely looking into it, because they previously experienced quite expensive options.
Yeah.
So it's good to know.
Yeah, around as well, it's worth noting as well that nearly between 10 and 15% of the UK have this type of insurance. So, and most of those are business owners. So that's worth pointing out as well.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Now we are running slightly ahead of time, which makes a change. There's no further questions that are coming up in the chat, unless anybody has anything they'd specifically like to put to John or Darren. But I think there's been lots of people saying they're going to follow up with both of the offerings. So thank you for your time today. Elaine's come with a question for you, John. How does it compare to Vitality?
So most health insurers can do similar types of benefits. The main difference is Vitality are very aggressive with their marketing. So they do a lot of marketing. So you'll see them around London on the tube, etc. So Vitality, they do a lot more as well. They do life insurance as well. So there's more of a bigger picture to that. They lead with a lot of, if you take out health insurance, you could use these gadgets or you could get these discounts. Whereas obviously our core product is health insurance. So we just like being really good at what we do. In terms of customer service, from a head office perspective, they get a far less further complaints than Vitality. So in terms of, it's more service driven, whereas Vitality is more numbers driven, and actually trying to appeal to people that would maybe take out health insurance as a byproduct of trying to get something else like a discount or a gadget or something. There's more of a package there, whereas we're more just pure health insurance. So if you're looking for pure health insurance, that's where we sort of stand. Whereas if you're looking for, I'm more interested in sort of like well-being, like gym discounts, etc., Vitality are more that sort of thing, albeit their customer service doesn't always get great feedback.
Okay, and it's kind of a similar question with Suzanne asking, it's just disappeared off with more questions coming through.
There's one there about Benetton.
That's it. Yes, you've seen it. Sorry, my cat's going.
Benetton's slightly different. Well, it's a different proposition altogether. So Benetton isn't traditional health insurance. So just because you pay into it doesn't mean you can use it. Benetton's more of like a members club, whereby I obviously don't work for Benetton, so you check with them directly. But in terms of Benetton's more of like a fund, whereby it's discretionary. So you pay into it, and then if there's money available at the time, they will pay towards a set number of procedures. They're also quite heavily populated in just the Kent area.
Okay, that's good advice. I think some quite specific questions there, so it just kind of highlights.
Honestly, it's one of them. If you are interested, let's have a chat, because even if you have a quote from somewhere else, if it's better than what we can do, I'd say it's better. It's fine.
Okay, and that's the main thing to point out. And I think, you know, it's just testament to the member benefits that are on the site. We do try and, you know, source our partners that will be of benefit to you and your clients. So they're kind of not there, you know, from a commercial perspective. They're there from a relevance perspective. So please do look into them before you go out.
One thing on that, Sam, as well, is we have to sign off all our advice. So we have to actually document to head office why it's better for the customer to move insurer, for example. So if in terms of it wasn't, we'd be struggling to do that. So in terms of each case is a case by case, and if it's not better for them to move, then sometimes the best advice is for them to stay where they are.
Okay, so that's good. So good impartial advice. It is a breath of fresh air for insurance, I would imagine. So yeah, that brings us to the end of the coffee morning. As I said at the start, do look out for the email about the forthcoming event. We are really excited about it. And so we have trying to put something together which is for members only, which is provides kind of like practical, insightful, supportive advice, and obviously is a great chance to network as well. So please do look out for that. There'll be an email going around shortly, which will also have the link to enable you to purchase a ticket. So we'll give you 10 minutes of your day back if no one has any further questions. And wishing you all a great rest of the week. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.